Giants. They exist in plenty of mythology. It only makes sense that they would wind up in D&D. There are many types of giants, but they all hold a common ancestor, according to their lore. Anam, the Allfather, created the giants in his image. Their appearance varies according to type of giant, but generally they are humanoid in appearance, just larger. Ancestry is important to giants, and most can trace their lineage back to Anam, the Allfather himself. When introducing clans to one another, this lineage is recited formally. Anam Allfather was one of the very first gods to take interest in Turil. This claim is hazy as so much time has passed and there were no documents written that record this period. However, giants believe that Anam was the first to see Turil as a place for his progeny to grow. It is a fact that giants arrived centuries before humans, elves, and dwarves. Shortly after his interest in Turil, Anam married a lesser demigoddess named Othea. Othea bore him several sons, many of whom are still worshipped by giant kin today. Her sons were Anam's first terrestrial children, and he loved them greatly. Anam took his children and established a great kingdom for them known as Astoria, which translates to father's seat in the language of the giants. He then divided up Astoria into new kingdoms for each of his sons to rule. These regions were items like seas and lakes, the skies, the rolling hills, the cold wastes, and the fiery peaks, which the descendants of those giants that rule over those areas became the separate types of giants we have today. Hill giants, stone giants, frost giants, fire giants, cloud giants, storm giants, wood giants, and titans. It wasn't long after that the first dragons appeared on Abir Turil. At first, the giants paid little attention to these creatures, but soon they recognized them as powerful and cunning interlopers who threatened Astoria's very existence. A great war broke out between the dragons and the giants that went on for 1,000 years. Known as the 1,000-Year War, I covered this a bit in one of my earliest videos, which you can find the link in the top right corner or in the video description. Legend says the war ended when Anam and the dragon god played a board game to settle the dispute. The game ended in a stalemate, and thus the war was over. The damage had been done to the giants. Astoria had shrunk to just the northernmost edge of Faerun, known as the Savage North and the Cold Lands. Now, it was around this time that Othea, the mother of giant kind, had an affair with another demigod. She had already betrayed Anam with Vaprak, resulting in the ogre race, and now she bed Ulutiu, resulting in 4 sons who became the Furbolg, Verbig, Voidkin, and Fomorian. To this day, there is enmity between the giants and giant kin, stemming from Othea's betrayal to their Allfather Anam. Othea is interesting because she takes the form of a giant mountain in Faerun, which she is a demigoddess, but while on Faerun was a mountain, which means a lot of these giants and giant kin came from the earth, which seems fitting for the giant race. Astoria slowly faded away as time went on, and the capital was eventually swallowed up by the Great Glacier of the North. The giants moved on, their great kingdom merely a memory. You don't see a large number of giants in present-day Faerun. Many believe that giants are going extinct or are a myth altogether. This is not true. Giants have merely settled in areas of Faerun that receive very little contact with the outside world. Although they don't have the same numbers they did while Astoria was in place, there are at least 500 giants of each major breed currently active in the realms. Their lifespan is so much more than that of a human or halfling. These giants operate at a slower pace of life comparably. Most giants can expect to live between 300 to 400 years, but there are older giants that have lived to be thousands of years old. With every generation, though, giants seem to have lost their longer lifespans. Giants have a pregnancy between 9 and 15 months, and their offspring reach maturity around 50 years old. Giants have an interesting social structure. Known as the Ordning, it is a social hierarchy that all giants adhere, dating all the way back to Astoria. Because of the Ordning, each individual giant knows which other giants are inferior and superior to themselves, and no giants are equal to another. Titans are the highest in the Ordning. Standing taller than cloud or storm giants, they are mighty. Alas, they mostly fled Faerun altogether for the plain of Aboria. After Titans come Storm Giants, Cloud Giants, Fire Giants, Frost Giants, Stone Giants, and then Hill Giants, with other giant kin being at the very bottom, such as Fomorians or Ogres. Giants have their own pantheon of gods they worship. Surprisingly, Anam isn't worshipped because he left his children after Astoria was forgotten. He left Turil altogether to live in an Asgardian place, only to return when his sons and daughters have restored Astoria to its former glory. It is Anam's first sons that are worshipped by the giants. Finally, giant magic revolves around runes. They don't cast arcane spells like normal wizards. The most outwardly magical are the Cloud Giants, followed by the Storm Giants. Both have an innate ability to use some forms of magic related to air, weather, and gravity, but rune magic is the name of the game with giants. They carve runes into weapons, armor, and even buildings to instill some magical power into that object. It's a slow process, but a strong magic. A storm rune carved into a stone might allow the stone's possessor to control the weather, but that same rune carved into a door might cause thunder damage to whoever opens it.